Well, it's a new year, and what better way to kick it off than by watching an all-time classic anime?
I can't believe you've never seen Slayers before. It's just simply mind-boggling.
Keep in mind I have amnesia, Emma. I can't even remember my own name, let alone whether I've seen Slayers or not. You know my memory is connected to anime, so what better way to get it back than by watching an all-time classic?
I fail to see the logic in that statement, but then again, I don't see the logic in anything you say.
But yes, it's true. I've never seen Slayers before. At least, not that I can remember. Yeah, I know, I suck. I can't call myself a true anime fan until I've watched this series. But seeing as it's New Year's and time for resolutions, I thought I'd fix that by finally watching this series. Now, obviously this series is quite old, so I'm going to have to make allowances for certain things like animation hiccups, things with voice acting, or whatever. Though I do have to say, while the animation does look aged, they actually have put a lot more effort into it than some of the more modern series that I've watched. What does that tell you? Anyway, I have to say, this series does get off to a pretty good start. It establishes its characters and its settings well, it keeps everything lighthearted and fun, and actually gets you curious as to what kind of adventures the main characters are going to be going on. Honestly, I was actually looking for things I could comment on, but I was actually enjoying the episode so much that I forgot about doing that. Alright, I know most of you have probably already seen this series, and are most likely familiar with its plot. But hey, it doesn't hurt to have a reminder if you haven't seen it in a while, eh? So the series starts out with a group of bandits celebrating their recent pillage and lusting over their loot. But their celebrations are suddenly interrupted by a young sorceress who...
You know, I've never noticed this before, but you look like a male version of Lena Inverse.
There's something very wrong with you.
There's something wrong with me.
Anyway, this girl crashes their party and roasts their leaders behind. She then takes some of their loot as a reward for her deed. You know something? Her voice sounds really familiar. I can't help but think that Oh no. Not Lisa Ortiz. Not Lisa freaking Ortiz! Say it isn't so!
What do you have against Lisa Ortiz? I think this is actually the role that most people remember her for.
So this girl makes off with her stolen loot, but then one of the bandits comes up to her and begs her to join them after she killed their leader. She calls him an idiot, but hey, you can't fault his logic. A man they followed and looked up to as being really strong is taken out by this little psychopath? Yeah, I'd want to stay on her good side as well. In any case, she refuses him and proceeds to walk off, but then is suddenly surrounded by bandits who are threatening to kill her, even though she took their leader down with ease and could probably do the same to them. But hey, they're bandits, all brawn and no brains. Before she can kick their behinds, a young swordsman comes in and tells them to back off, assuming she's just a regular maiden in peril. He then proceeds to kick the bandits' behinds himself. Now, even though this girl could have probably handled them, she decides to have a bit of fun and embrace the idea of being the damsel in distress. After his victory, the swordsman comes up to her to make sure she's alright. At first she's flattered to be hit on by a noble knight, but that quickly comes to an end when the swordsman realises how short she is and makes the assumption, "Oh, I thought I was saving a totally cute babe, but it turns out you're just a flat-chested little kid." Oh, you and I are gonna get along great, buddy. He starts to get upset by this thought, and she begins to get upset that she doesn't look her age, wishing her body could be more developed. Great. Even back then this was considered humour in anime. I just can't escape it, can I? Anyway, she decides she's going to keep up this helpless maiden act for whatever reason, and he reveals to her that he's in fact a mercenary and offers to escort her home, still assuming that she's a child. Let me give you some advice, one merc to another, buddy. Less talking, do what needs to be done, get paid, get out. It's the best way to run this kind of work. Anyway, the two of them head to a nearby town and grab a bite to eat. It's then revealed that they both have huge appetites, ordering triple servings of pretty much everything on the menu. The two of them talk some more and... Alright, Mr. Mercenary, did you give up on your acting classes in order to become a mercenary? I know he's voiced by Eric Stewart and that a lot of people love him, but in this first episode, he sounds as if he doesn't know whether to take what he's saying seriously or not. I know, this was different times and this was only the first episode, but this was the only thing that really bothered me about it. But hey, like I said, I can make allowances for these things, and I'm sure he's going to get better with the role as the series goes on. But moving on, this old man comes into the restaurant and reveals that this girl is in fact a famous sorceress who's known for taking out bandits, and requests her help in taking out the bandits she's already taken out at the beginning of the episode, and their pet dragon. Yes, these bandits have a pet dragon. You heard me right.
It could be worse, Kay. They could have a pet Moogle.
Don't even joke about that, Emma. Anyway, she tells this old man that she already dealt with those bandits, and he assumes that means she dealt with the dragon as well. In true comedic fashion, it's at this point that the dragon actually starts attacking the village. So she offers to help them for a set amount of gold, and then proceeds to go and fight the dragon. Her first means of attacking it are by sending a fireball at it. She sends a fireball at the fire-breathing dragon. Figure that logic out. You know, lady, most people say fight fire with fire as a figure of speech. Needless to say, that does absolutely nothing. So then her moronic merc friend then attempts to attack it head-on with just his sword. But it goes about as well as you'd expect. After semantics, she sends this idiot flying straight at the dragon in order to distract it while she builds up her super finisher move. She sends out her huge Kamehameha wave at the dragon, and it successfully kills it. Oh man, why didn't the dwarves look to her when they were trying to take back their home? After successfully slaying the dragon, she looks to the old man for her reward. But she's not gonna get it because that huge blast of hers nuked the whole town. Needless to say, the townsfolk are pretty peed off by this, so she proceeds to run away, her moronic mercenary friend following close behind. Some minor nitpicks aside, which are honestly forgivable considering the time that this came out, this was a really good start to the series. This girl and her idiot friend are very well established, and there's a little bit of mystery as to how powerful this girl really is, and it's overall just light-hearted fun. You know, a lot of modern series could learn from this. This series is obviously considered an all-time classic for a reason, and I'm looking forward to watching more of it and seeing where the story goes.
From this point forward, I'm gonna start calling you Male Lena.
Shut up, Emma!
Come on, you never say anybody's names right.
Keep in mind I have amnesia, Emma. I can't even remember my line, apparently. Keep in mind I have amnesia, Emma. I can't remember my own name, let alone whether I've seen Slayers or not. That was terrible. Though I do have to say, while the animation does look aged, it actually... something. Though I have to say though, while the animation does look aged, they actually put a lot more effort back... Though I do have to say, while the animation does look aged, they did put a lot more effort back into it. Though I do have to say, while the animation does look aged, they... why can't I get this line? Alright, I know that most of you have probably most likely already seen this series and are probably familiar with its plot, but hey, it doesn't help to have a...